On the morning of October 17, 2024, something strange and terrifying happened in the skies above Yemen. The world didn't hear it, the ground didn't feel it, but something powerful moved in silence. It was the B-2 Spirit, a $2 billion flying ghost, built not just to destroy, but to vanish into the night like it was never there. It didn't roar through the sky. It didn't flash lights. It simply arrived and then unleashed destruction with deadly precision. 5 secret underground sites, gone. These weren't ordinary places. They were hidden weapon depots, carefully buried and guarded, storing powerful equipment used to threaten nearby regions. But they weren't safe enough. The B-2 knew exactly where they were. Its GPS-guided bombs struck each location with chilling accuracy, like a shadow that sees through walls. There was no chance to run, no time to hide, no warning shot. That's the power of stealth. But this wasn't just a military strike. It was a message, loud and clear, even though no sound was made. A message that said, "We can reach you anywhere. No matter how deep you hide, no matter how far you run." And this message wasn't only for the Houthis. It echoed beyond Yemen, across borders, toward bigger players, toward nations watching carefully. Because when a country like the United States chooses to use one of its rarest, most expensive, most advanced weapons, not in a full war, but in a single operation, you have to ask, who are they really talking to? The answer might not be in Yemen, but far beyond it. The B-2 Spirit is not the kind of aircraft you just send on any mission. It's not designed for regular battles. It's not used against enemies who can be taken down by ordinary jets. This bomber is a rare, precious tool in the US military. Only 20 B-2s exist in the entire world. Each one costs over $2 billion, not even counting the expensive maintenance it takes to keep them running. So why would the US send such a valuable weapon into Yemen, a place with almost no advanced air defense systems? That's the question that caught the attention of military experts around the world. You see, the B-2 is made for one thing: to silently slip past even the strongest radar systems, destroy high-value targets, and disappear. It's like a ghost in the sky. Most countries don't even have the radar to detect it, and yet it was sent to strike targets hidden underground in a region that couldn't shoot it down. The reason? It wasn't about what was destroyed, it was about who was watching. By sending the B-2 into Yemen, the US wasn't just hitting 5 underground depots, it was sending a signal, a powerful one, to Iran, to Russia, to China, to anyone storing weapons in bunkers and believing they're safe just because they're buried deep. This operation was a show of strength, a reminder. The B-2 wasn't deployed out of necessity, it was deployed on purpose, to prove a point. That point is simple: nowhere is safe. The world has entered an age where hiding underground isn't enough. The B-2 proves that if the US wants to reach a target, it can, and it will. From thousands of miles away, without being seen, without being stopped. And there's another layer. The decision to use the B-2 also sends a message to the American people and its allies. It says, we still own the skies. In a time when tensions are rising in the Middle East, when Iran is pushing its nuclear program further, when new threats are emerging every year, America showed its hand. Just one card, just one bomber, and it was enough to shake the region. So why use the B-2 in Yemen? Because it wasn't about Yemen at all. The B-2 Spirit isn't just another jet. It's the closest thing to a real-life science fiction weapon. It was designed to break every rule of traditional warfare. No loud engine roar, no visible trail, no blinking lights, just quiet movement through the sky. The wings stretch across 172 feet, wider than a football field, but it's shaped so perfectly that radar barely notices it. It has no tail, no vertical surfaces, and no obvious edges that bounce back radar signals. This strange shape is called a flying wing, and it's one of the hardest aircraft designs to build. But it's also one of the stealthiest. The B-2 glides through the sky like a shadow passing over water, smooth, silent, and almost untraceable. Its engines are hidden deep inside the wing. Even the exhaust from the engines is carefully cooled and spread out, so that heat-seeking missiles can't lock on. Because of this, even thermal cameras struggle to detect it. It doesn't need an airport full of people to fly it, just a pilot and a mission commander. They control the entire beast from inside a high-tech cockpit filled with digital displays and encrypted communication. The controls are so precise that the B-2 can drop a bomb from 40,000 feet and still hit within inches of its target. And it can do that in the middle of the night, through a thunderstorm, and in enemy territory. It can carry both nuclear and conventional bombs. But what makes it terrifying is how it delivers them. Before anyone knows it's there, it can adjust its wings slightly during flight to change the way radar hits it. Even tiny angle changes make a big difference. The B-2 is constantly correcting itself to remain invisible. Its skin is not just metal, it's covered with radar-absorbing material that has to be hand-inspected regularly. Even a small scratch could ruin its stealth. That's why it takes 119 hours of maintenance for every 1 hour it flies. The aircraft has no visible seams, no exposed bolts. Even the windows are designed to reflect as little radar as possible. Its tires, landing gear, and edges are coated with special materials to stay undetected. When it flies over at night, people on the ground might not even hear it. That's how quiet it is compared to other bombers. It's equipped with Advanced Defensive Management Systems, DMS, which detect radar signals from miles away and adjust the B-2's position instantly to avoid detection. It's like it can feel when it's being watched and quietly moves out of sight. When needed, it can fly at high subsonic speeds, fast enough to cross continents before sunrise. And when refueled mid-air, it can stay in the sky for over 40 hours without landing. It's been used in Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and now Yemen, yet most people have never even seen it. Not in person, not in news footage, not even in the sky. The B-2 doesn't need fighter escorts. It doesn't need backup to sneak into heavily guarded airspace. It flies alone and comes back untouched. Even its mission data is stored in encrypted systems that can only be accessed by special codes. Its communications can reach satellites, ground command, and other aircraft without exposing its location. Inside, the crew has systems for sleep, meals, and emergencies. Because when the B-2 launches, it's not coming back until the job is done. When it's not flying, it's stored in climate-controlled hangars. Why? Because temperature and humidity can affect its stealth coating. Even nature is seen as a potential threat to its perfection. Engineers inspect it using special infrared lights to find cracks too small for the eye to see. Even a drop of water can affect the radar signature, so they check every inch before takeoff. It's so advanced that countries have tried for decades to copy it, and failed. Its technology is a national secret. Only a handful of people in the world understand how it all works. The B-2 isn't just rare, it's sacred to the US Air Force. When it flies, it means something serious is happening. And what's more impressive, despite being introduced in 1997, it still remains unmatched. No country on Earth has built anything that can match its exact mix of stealth, range, and precision. It flies silently, strikes surgically, and vanishes into the dark. It doesn't win battles with noise. It wins with fear, silence, and surgical timing. It's built for moments when failure is not an option, for missions where missing the target could change the world. That's why they call it the Spirit, because by the time you feel it, it's already gone. The B-2 Spirit is terrifying on its own, but what truly makes it unmatched is the weapon it carries deep in its belly. A bomb so massive, so precise, and so destructive that even concrete bunkers buried deep underground can't escape it. This bomb is called the GBU-57, but most people know it by a more chilling name, the Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP for short. Weighing over 30,000 pounds, the MOP isn't just dropped. It dives like a steel missile. It crashes through layer after layer of earth and concrete before it even thinks about exploding. It's not designed to destroy buildings above ground. It's made to kill what hides deep below. Weapons stockpiles, missile bunkers, nuclear research labs, hidden command centers. The first strike doesn't just explode, it drills. It buries itself through the enemy's strongest shield, reaching the heart of the facility before lighting up the sky with a delayed explosion. It's like a metal spear, guided by some of the most advanced technology in the world. And guess what? The B-2 can carry not one, but two of these beasts in a single mission. That means it can erase two entire underground facilities before anyone even knows it's there. No other aircraft in the US arsenal can do that, not even close. The warhead itself contains powerful high-explosive compounds, AFX-757 and PBXN-14. These aren't ordinary explosives. These are engineered materials designed to stay stable through the violent impact and only detonate once they've reached the target. It's like the bomb knows exactly when to explode. The outer casing of the MOP is made from ultra-hard steel. It doesn't bend, it doesn't break. It cuts through rock and steel like a knife through butter. The bomb uses a smart fuse system. It calculates how far it's traveled underground and waits until it hits just the right depth before exploding. So if your facility is buried under 100 feet of reinforced concrete, it's not safe. If it's buried under 300 feet, still not safe. The MOP can penetrate over 200 feet of hardened concrete. That's deeper than most subway tunnels, deeper than most bomb shelters, deeper than the fear many enemies even realize they should have. Now imagine this. You're hiding in a command center you think is safe, buried under layers of mountain rock. You've spent millions building a safe haven. Suddenly the earth shakes. Dust falls from the ceiling. A second later, you're gone. That's what the MOP does. It doesn't warn. It doesn't miss. It doesn't give you a second chance. The GBU-57 is often loaded with a global positioning system GPS and advanced inertial guidance. This ensures it doesn't just fall close to the target, it hits it perfectly within a few feet of precision. The accuracy is so sharp it can aim for a specific room inside a mountain base. It's not just a show of strength, it's a demonstration of surgical power, a quiet reminder that no place on Earth is unreachable. The impact of using the MOP is also psychological. It changes how enemies think. It forces underground sites to become liabilities, not assets. It terrifies those who used to believe they were safe. It forces countries to invest millions more just to try to keep up. And even then, many know they still can't match it. The bomb is tested in deep mountain ranges in the US, where scientists simulate real-world bunkers and adjust the bomb's algorithms for even greater penetration. Every year, the GBU-57 is updated. It evolves. It gets sharper, smarter, deadlier. And the fact that only the B-2 Spirit can carry this weapon means the B-2 becomes the only plane in the world that can end a war before it even starts. This is why military bases around the world have increased surveillance when B-2s are spotted flying. They know what it could mean. They know what it could be carrying. The MOP doesn't just explode underground, it destroys morale. It shows that hiding isn't safety, it's just a false hope. If a war begins and the B-2 launches first with the MOP, it can eliminate an entire chain of command, a whole missile storage site, or even a nuclear facility before sunrise. This kind of power doesn't just defeat enemies, it changes strategies, alliances, and politics. It's not just the physical destruction that makes this bomb terrifying. It's the fact that you never hear it coming. You never see it falling. You only know it was there, after everything's already gone. That's what the B-2 and MOP do together. They bring the kind of silence that ends conversations. They create the kind of fear that lives underground. And in modern warfare, fear is a weapon too. But here's the truth most people missed. The strike on Yemen wasn't just about stopping the Houthis. It wasn't just about 5 underground bunkers filled with missiles and drones. It wasn't even about the Red Sea. That mission, carried out by one of the most advanced stealth bombers on Earth, wasn't just an attack. It was a warning, a message written in fire, delivered from the sky, aimed directly at another nation, Iran. Because right now, deep inside Iran's mountains, under layers of steel and reinforced concrete, lies something far more dangerous. A nuclear program that is progressing faster than the world expected. Recent reports from the International Atomic Energy Agency revealed something chilling. Iran has enriched uranium to 83.7%, a level dangerously close to weapons grade. At that percentage, creating a nuclear bomb is no longer a distant dream. It's a real possibility, and it's only a matter of when, not if. Now think about the timing of the B-2 strike. Just as Iran expands its underground nuclear tunnels, just as Western diplomats raise concerns, just as U.S. satellites capture new images of construction at nuclear sites, the B-2 suddenly appears, not in Iran, but in nearby Yemen, dropping bombs on deep underground facilities. That wasn't coincidence. That was calculated theater, a show of force, because Iran is watching, and the message is clear. If we can destroy hidden bunkers in Yemen, without warning, without being seen, we can do the same to you. Yemen was a test, a live demonstration, not just of America's technology, but of its intent. It showed what the B-2 can do, how deep it can reach, and how accurate it can strike. Iran has invested years in building underground facilities, thinking they were safe, buried hundreds of feet below the surface. But the B-2, armed with massive ordnance penetrators, was specifically built for this kind of challenge. And now Iran has to ask itself, are we really safe? This kind of psychological warfare is just as important as the physical strike, because fear travels faster than sound, and doubt weakens a nation from the inside. That's why the B-2 wasn't just carrying bombs, it was carrying a message soaked in silence. Your depth means nothing. Your distance means nothing. Your bunkers are not your shield. And this message wasn't just for Iran. North Korea saw it, Russia saw it, China saw it. Everyone who relies on underground weapon stockpiles and hidden labs suddenly realized the sky is no longer their friend. Even countries that weren't directly involved started reviewing their security, started asking if their bunkers were deep enough, started questioning their radar systems. Because if a B-2 can fly in undetected, who's really protected? This one operation triggered global reactions. Intelligence agencies scrambled. Allies debriefed in silence. Enemies reconsidered their confidence. It also forced Iran into a corner, because responding recklessly could invite another strike. Staying silent could look weak. And in the shadows, American B-2 bombers are still airborne. Still circling, still watching, still waiting. Military strategists call this strategic ambiguity. Never confirming, never denying, just letting the silence haunt the enemy. Iran now has a decision to make. Keep digging deeper underground, or step into negotiations before it's too late. And as of April 2025, reports have confirmed the deployment of multiple B-2s to Diego Garcia, a remote and heavily fortified U.S. airbase in the Indian Ocean, just within range of Iran. That's not positioning for Yemen. That's precision chess. Iran knows it. The world knows it. And if the next B-2 takes flight, it won't be a warning. It'll be a consequence. So while the world watched Yemen burn, the real flames were lit far beyond its borders, because sometimes the most powerful strike isn't where it lands, but where it makes people look. Just when the world thought the B-2 Spirit was the peak of stealth and precision, the United States unveiled something even more advanced. The B-21 Raider, a new generation of bomber, a new era of silent power. This isn't just a replacement for the B-2. It's a total evolution, a machine built for the future of warfare, where invisibility, speed, and surgical accuracy decide the outcome before the first missile is even fired. The B-21 Raider was designed with one goal: to be undetectable, unstoppable, and unmatched in any combat environment. Whether facing a modern air defense system in China, a hidden nuclear facility in Iran, or a cyber-integrated battlefield of the future. It's not just built to keep up, it's built to stay ahead for decades. Unlike its older sibling, the B-2, the B-21 uses cutting-edge materials that reduce its radar signature to almost nothing. It doesn't just absorb radar, it practically vanishes from it. Engineers redesigned every corner, every seam, every surface to make the B-21 even harder to detect. From its deeply embedded engines to its trapezoid-shaped cockpit glass, every inch of the aircraft was crafted to confuse and defeat radar systems. The result? To enemy systems, the B-21 isn't a plane, it's a ghost in the sky. But what's more shocking isn't just how stealthy it is, it's how affordable it is compared to the B-2. The Spirit costs nearly $2 billion per unit. The B-21, around $700 million. And yet, despite the lower price, it performs better, requires less maintenance, and is far easier to upgrade. The US isn't planning to build 20 or 30. They're aiming for at least 100 B-21s, making it the new backbone of America's air dominance strategy. And it's not just about the airframe. The B-21 is part of a larger digital ecosystem created by Northrop Grumman. It can be updated remotely. Software can be tested, certified, and installed without needing to bring the aircraft offline. This means the B-21 will stay ahead of threats, not just today, but 10, 20, even 30 years from now. Inside the B-21 lies a new level of automation and control. Pilots can focus on the mission, while the aircraft handles navigation, targeting, and threat detection. And yes, it can be flown with or without a crew. That's right. In the future, the B-21 can fly completely autonomously if needed. A pilotless ghost striking targets from thousands of miles away without risking a single American life. It also carries an upgraded arsenal, precision-guided bombs, long-range cruise missiles, and even nuclear weapons if the situation ever demanded it. Its modular design allows it to be reconfigured quickly depending on the mission. Deep strike, surveillance, cyber warfare. The B-21 can do it all. And here's the strategic edge: range. The B-21 can fly longer distances than the B-2. It can refuel mid-air. It can launch from the continental US and hit a target across the world without ever entering enemy airspace, thanks to new ultra-long-range missiles like the JASSMER. It's also cheaper to maintain, with fewer parts that need replacement. The coating that gives it stealth is easier to repair. This makes the B-21 more ready, more often. Its engines are hidden inside the body, reducing both heat signature and radar reflection. Enemy radars struggle to detect anything. Even infrared sensors, which track heat, can't lock on as easily. Unlike older bombers, the B-21 was built digitally from day one. It's the first stealth bomber designed entirely with virtual modeling. Every system was tested in a simulated environment before the real aircraft was even built. That's why the Raider is arriving ahead of schedule and under budget, something unheard of in military aviation. The B-21 also supports AI-assisted decision-making. That means in intense combat zones, the aircraft can instantly calculate the safest path, lock onto multiple targets, and suggest actions to the pilot, or act on its own when needed. It is expected to operate across 5 generations of warfare: air, land, sea, space, and cyber. It's also built for deep penetration strikes, meaning it can sneak past enemy defenses and hit the heart of enemy infrastructure without being detected. Because it can fly unmanned, the U.S. can use the B-21 in the most dangerous areas, where losing a pilot would be unacceptable. This opens the door for high-risk, high-impact missions. Its stealth design includes angled air intakes, internal weapons bays, and seamless panels, all designed to deflect radar. Even small bolts and screws are hidden. It has adaptive electronics that can jam enemy signals, collect intel, and communicate with satellites or drones, all in one flight. Future versions may carry hypersonic weapons, allowing it to strike targets thousands of miles away in minutes. The B-21 is networked with other U.S. military systems. It can share data with satellites, submarines, and fighter jets in real time, acting as the nerve center of a coordinated strike. It's also designed to take off from rough runways, allowing the U.S. to launch from hidden or mobile bases. Its cockpit layout is minimal, with smart systems taking over most routine functions, reducing pilot fatigue on long missions. And because of its smaller size and lighter weight, the B-21 can take off faster, climb quicker, and reach its strike zone in record time. The B-21 also focuses on low life cycle cost, meaning the U.S. can afford to fly it more often without burning through massive budgets. It will work alongside drones, potentially controlling swarms of them to carry out surveillance or confuse enemy radars. It's already been tested in extreme weather, high humidity, and electromagnetic attack conditions, and it passed every test. And here's the secret that makes the B-21 different from every bomber before it. It's not built just to survive war. It's built to win before war even begins. When enemies know you can strike without warning, from halfway across the world, and there's nothing they can do to stop you, that's power. And the name Raider? It honors the legendary Doolittle Raiders of World War II, men who struck fear into the heart of Japan with a daring air raid in 1942. Just like them, the B-21 is designed to do the impossible with no chance for the enemy to respond. In the age of satellites, drones, cyber attacks, and global threats, the B-21 Raider is not just a plane. It's the future of dominance in the skies. And the skies are about to go silent again, but this time with even more deadly precision. Guam may only be a dot on the map, but it holds the weight of global stability on its shoulders. For decades, it's been known as the U.S. military's unsinkable aircraft carrier, a fixed launch point that can't be pushed away by tides or international politics. At the heart of Guam's power is Andersen Air Force Base, a 20,000-acre installation built for long-haul bombers, refueling aircraft, and high-end surveillance systems. This base isn't just about parking jets, it's about launching strategy. Andersen's runways are some of the longest in the world. That means even the biggest, heaviest bombers can take off fully loaded. When a B-2 Spirit or B-52 Stratofortress launches from Guam, it isn't just flying, it's broadcasting presence. Just a few miles away sits Naval Base Guam, home to attack submarines, guided missile destroyers, and other key elements of the Pacific Fleet. These vessels are kept ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Their job? Surveillance, protection, and immediate retaliation. The U.S. has been quietly pouring billions into Guam's upgrades. Hardened shelters have been built to protect bombers from surprise missile attacks. Underground fuel tanks ensure missions continue even if surface infrastructure is hit. There's also the construction of new radar towers, longer-range surveillance systems, and integration with space-based missile detection platforms. Guam doesn't just look out to the sea, it watches the skies and beyond. What makes Guam so irreplaceable is that it allows the U.S. to project power without asking for permission. Other bases in the region depend on local governments, but Guam? It's American soil. No negotiations needed. In the event of a crisis, the U.S. doesn't have to wait for clearance or navigate diplomacy. It can act instantly. The island is also becoming the heart of military war games and joint drills with allies like Japan, Australia, and South Korea. These exercises simulate full-scale war, cyber attacks, and missile strikes, preparing troops for real-world escalation. Guam's strategic advantage extends to missile defense command centers underground. These centers are connected to U.S. intelligence satellites, allowing real-time tracking of threats from China, North Korea, or Iran. Anderson is also home to Global Hawk drones, unmanned aircraft that can fly for over 30 hours and monitor entire countries without ever entering their airspace. Every single deployment of stealth bombers from Guam is watched closely by foreign intelligence. When 6 B-2 Spirits arrived in April 2025, Chinese and Russian satellites zoomed in. It was a quiet move, but it screamed readiness. When a B-2 lifts off from Guam at night, almost no one sees it. No loud engines, no lights. But across the world, defense systems brace themselves. Because if that B-2 is airborne, something is about to change. And Guam has more than just hardware. Thousands of elite U.S. troops are stationed there. Pilots, engineers, cyber teams, special forces. They live, train, and sleep with one purpose: defend the Pacific at all costs. Even U.S. Space Force has started building infrastructure on the island. Satellites, sensors, and signal relays are being quietly installed, giving Guam space battlefield awareness in addition to its land-sea-air capabilities. In recent years, Guam has expanded its ability to withstand electronic warfare. This means that even if enemy forces jam communications or launch cyber attacks, the island can still function independently. The surrounding waters are filled with underwater detection systems, hydrophones that can hear submarines before they're even close. It's not just radar above the surface. There's vigilance below the waves too. What makes Guam more important than ever is that threats are now faster. Missiles from North Korea can reach the island in under 20 minutes. China's DF-26 carrier killer missile was nicknamed the Guam Express for a reason. The clock starts ticking the moment it's launched. That's why reaction speed is everything. In Guam, crews run regular drills where they practice full missile defense in seconds, from radar detection to interception launch. No delays, no room for mistakes. The THAAD system on Guam can track and shoot down incoming missiles in space before they even re-enter Earth's atmosphere. This upper-tier defense layer buys the U.S. precious time to retaliate or shield its assets. Backup power systems have been installed to ensure the island never goes dark. Even if power plants are hit, the military can continue operations for days using redundant energy lines and buried infrastructure. Nearby satellite tracking stations allow Guam to monitor missile launches across Asia and even watch enemy satellites move in orbit. That makes Guam one of the most space-connected defense hubs on the planet. More than 20 countries now conduct joint training exercises involving Guam. It's not just a U.S. stronghold, it's a regional anchor for collective security. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has marked Guam as a no-fail territory. In other words, it's a piece of ground the United States will never allow to fall, at any cost. Underground bunkers store fuel, food, weapons, and medical supplies, enough to survive a siege. Guam isn't just prepared for attack, it's prepared to keep fighting during one. Even airfields are being upgraded to support the future B-21 Raider, which means Guam will soon host the most advanced bomber ever built. Special aircraft shelters have been designed to reduce satellite visibility. Enemy satellites can fly overhead, but they'll see nothing, because the most powerful weapons are kept hidden in plain sight. The people of Guam live with constant drills, sirens, and training alerts, but they also live with pride, knowing their island holds the line for millions beyond their shores. And in the background, U.S. nuclear submarines rotate silently through Guam's waters. No announcements, no confirmations, just silence, and the constant chilling reality that if deterrence fails, retaliation will not. So if you ever hear Guam mentioned in a news report, don't ignore it. It may sound distant, But it's where the next world crisis could begin or be stopped, before it ever reaches your doorstep. And what makes this moment even more dangerous is that no one wants to back down. Every side believes it's being provoked. Every nation believes it's acting in defense. That's how real wars start, not with evil intentions, but with fear, pride, and miscommunication. Behind every stealth bomber is a team watching satellite feeds in silence. Behind every missile launcher is a finger hovering over a button. And behind every headline is a growing sense that the world is not as stable as it seems. Even global trade is starting to shift. Shipping companies are rerouting vessels away from conflict zones. Insurance rates are climbing for cargo in the Red Sea. Markets are reacting to tensions before a single shot is fired. The U.S. has started rotating its bombers more frequently through Guam. Submarines are disappearing into the ocean, where no one knows their exact position, and intelligence agencies around the world are monitoring unusual movements 24/7. Cyber attacks have increased dramatically in recent months. Some are probing nuclear plants, others are targeting satellite communications. It's not war, but it's preparation for it. Diplomats are holding emergency meetings behind closed doors. But so far, their words haven't stopped the military buildup. It's like trying to hold back a tidal wave with a cup. Meanwhile, military drills are getting more aggressive. China has simulated blockades around Taiwan. North Korea has launched missiles into the sea to test U.S. response time. Iran has moved equipment deeper underground in case of future strikes. And in Washington, briefings are happening at midnight. Strategy rooms are filled with generals, advisors, and satellite maps. Everyone is asking the same question. What if this isn't just posturing anymore? What if the next drone strike isn't accidental? What if a missile crosses a red line no one meant to cross? What happens when someone feels they have nothing to lose? America has drawn a line in the sand, especially with Iran. It has said it will not allow Iran to build a bomb, but Iran is pushing that line. And now it's a matter of timing, not talk. All it takes is one flashpoint, one unexpected death, one rogue pilot or rebel faction, and a local event becomes a global war. Russia is watching all of this closely. So is India. So is Israel. So are dozens of smaller nations quietly choosing sides. Weapons are being moved without announcements. Fighter jets are taking off at odd hours. Communications are encrypted. But the tension leaks through like smoke before the fire. The B-21 Raider is preparing to fly its first mission soon. Once deployed, it will add another layer of uncertainty to the skies, because no one knows its limits. And that unknown is exactly what makes it powerful. Nations are now investing in space-based missile defenses, not because of science fiction, but because they know what's coming. They're not building systems for peace, they're building for survival. In the shadows, private companies are supplying war tech at record speed. Surveillance drones, smart bombs, counterjamming tools. The war economy is already booming before the war even starts. Social media is being weaponized. Fake news, military leaks, troop movements, nothing is certain anymore. Even the truth has become a battlefield. Civilians are not safe either. If a war breaks out, it won't be like the past. It won't be confined to battlefields. Cities, airports, power grids, satellites, all could be targets. That's why Guam is more than just a military base. It's a symbol, a front line, a lit fuse waiting for the spark. The US knows this, China knows this, Iran knows this, and they're all playing a game of nerves, pushing, testing, watching, waiting for the other to blink. The silence before the storm is the loudest part, because in that silence, everyone is preparing. And when the first missile flies, the entire world will feel the shockwave, not just militarily, but economically, politically, emotionally. This isn't just about who wins, it's about who survives. If you were the commander, would you wait or would you strike first? Comment your thoughts below. Subscribe for more military secrets, untold strategies, and war tech breakdowns you won't find anywhere else.